Yes, yours truly first live, representing for, of course, CNC3, Slam 100.5, Vibe City 105, and Sangate, as we await the press conference of the century. The ultimate Soca Champion. 1 million questions and more are being asked. Why so long? Why now? What is the decision? What is the concept? What can we look forward to? And so many others. But all those questions would be answered right here today, this morning. So we await the press conference, as I said, to mark the Mecca that is the ultimate Soca Champion. I know many of us were without that, what you would say, energy that it normally happens on a fantastic Friday, but now it is back, and as I said, we definitely await all the action as it contains this competition. From what I hear, there are a lot of significant names that are going to be on location here today and that are a part of this lovely occasion. So we just waiting the countdown, we await the countdown rather, and look forward to all the information coming to hand. Keep it locked right here, do not move a muscle. Slam 100.5, Vibe City 105, Sangate, and of course CNC3, as we keep you updated with all the latest news. Keep it locked.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
My own personal motto is to show citizens of this country that our stories can be told in a professional and international standard. I want to show them that the journalism they consume on cable TV can also exist here. Each day, that's my focus, that's my drive, to show the stories of our communities, of our people, matter just as much as anywhere else in the world. That's why we are where you are.
Filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Are you tired of the same old boring drive home from work? Look no further. Get ready for the ultimate after-work rush with Freedom 106.5 FM's The Overdrive with Davey. Mondays to Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let Davey take you on a thrilling ride of non-stop entertainment and education. He covers the topics of the day, delves into the latest food and lifestyle trends, and brings dynamic guests from exciting professions to share their professional stories and experiences. Take advantage of this energizing and engaging experience. Tune into Freedom 106.5 FM, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for The Overdrive with Davey, the ultimate way to end your day with a bang.
This is Mary. Mary has bills to pay and takes a chance parking in front of the building at the no parking sign. Mary returns to her car, and this is what happens. Mary decides to call when she's 5 minutes away to let her daughter know that she is close by. But Mary forgot one thing.
Second ticket for the day. I don't know, no? I really don't know. Well, I tell you.
After 2 tickets, Mary just isn't paying attention to her speed.
You see a fixed penalty notice, fixing speed like 15 kilometers. You have 30 years to pay, 15 years to contest.
Let us show it to other people. Look at other people passing. All they ain't seen them. All they seen me, right? Eh? All they too wicked.
Don't Don't be like Mary. Obey the laws of the road. A message from the TTPS.
And we are back here at the press conference in Queen's Hall, and it's all about the ultimate Soca Champion. I'm actually here with Mr. Neil Clark, a very well-known publicist. Once you're speaking anything about the culture, you definitely have to mention Neil. Good morning, Neil. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago.
Lovely. So tell me something. What are your expectations for this conference this morning?
I mean, having worked as a consultant for previous iterations of a Soca Monarch portfolio, I expect a continuum of promoting the culture outward and upward. You know, in the past we've been able to generate so much media assets and media recognition everywhere from the US, the UK and various markets. I'm hoping that Rome and his team are able to come together and once again continue to put Trinidad and Tobago on the map as the mecca of the carnival, but the Soca experience.
Definitely. Now, my next question to you is, you spoke about recognition. Do you think that the 3-year hiatus did more harm than good?
No, because I believe that we had brand ambassadors in varying aspects, both from the public sector as well as from the private sector. So the NCC and the Ministry of Tourism have continued to do its part in ensuring that the product is a globalized experience, but also the artists. The artists have been doing a tremendous job. We have so much good music this year alone. I think it's really, really important to understand that the soca industry is perennial. It's not a three-month seasonal experience. It's something perennial, and we need to ensure to continue to support the artists, but not just the artists because they're on the front line, but what about the producers, the writers, the sound engineers, and everybody else that works behind the scenes to be able to put together a culminated product that is of a quality assured standard.
Definitely. Also, I mean, you mentioned the artists and that entire ecosystem, if you will. Do you think that the artists and they would be hyped, if you will, to hear of the return? Because I know in times past they were a bit, nostalgic when it comes to the competition.
I think that it's a great opportunity right now, and we are in a very, very exciting time to see almost a handover, a generational handover. So while in the past we have had great acts, I mean, I've represented people like Blacks and Voice in the past, but when you look at the new generation, the full-blowns and the Corey and the Kevons and the Young Brothers and all these people, it's a really, really exciting time for our culture, and it means that our culture is healthy, it is thriving, and it's an evolutionary process that we should all be supporting.
And what do you see, let's say, for the next 5 years for this competition? Or what are your hopes or dreams for this competition?
I think the competition will be an anchoring tool for cultural resonance. So not just focused on the music, but the supporting cultural mechanisms around that. So when you talk about the traditionality of the carnival experience, the stick fighting, and the old mass, we have people, I see Keegan Taylor here, who is a known stick fighter, but he's also an artist. So when you take that very transcendental approach to culture and you incorporate all of the elements, that is the outstanding thing that Trinidad and Tobago offers to the world more than any other product in the Caribbean Carnival experience. We are the Mecca for a reason. We are the Mecca because we are good at many different things, and we are proud of all of the things that amalgamate to make us who we are.
Now, you mentioned us being modern as well as, having the tradition and that transition as well. Do you think the old guard or those moguls, if you will, of the culture of yesteryear, do you think they will be pleased with what is happening today?
I definitely believe that they would be pleased. I mean, I just saw Iowa outside. So, being able to see these stalwarts as mentors to emerging talent, it's a great opportunity, again, to kind of not only stand guard, but to also hand over the guard as well to the next generation of very promising talent coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, but as the region as a whole.
Definitely. Well, I want to take this time to thank you very much for speaking with us here. It has definitely been a pleasure. I know all of us are a bit anxious waiting to hear and get the entire rollout. So I will look forward to having another conversation, hopefully, again in a little while.
Soon, yeah.
Yes.
Next year, well, last year I was on the morning program immediately after Carnival, so I'm looking forward to that again. And I just want to say thank you to you guys as well. You have been really, really an anchoring kind of media tool in the landscape of Trinidad and Tobago in terms of producing and pushing indigenous cultural experiences. And for publicists like me, that is a dream come true to know that we have stakeholders and partners like you guys. So thank you.
Well, we definitely appreciate that coming from you. Guys, we take a short break, but we'll be right back here at Queen's Hall for the ultimate Soca Champion press conference. Keep it locked.
Good?
Our connection is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Ask the Doctor's new season is here as Dr. Joel Tilak Singh covers a range of topics and, most importantly, answers all your medical questions.
Join us on Ask the Doctor live on CNC3 on Thursdays at a new time of 8:30 p.m. with a rerun on Fridays at 11 a.m.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. So, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I read in Guardian since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
The stories that are being covered are well detailed and they get more facts.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job and they're speaking the truth and, they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities. And I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
Oh, The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian is my first choice.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Our connection is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Tune in to Betterments with host Bass, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for a program that educates and is solution-based. Bass tackles the issues that matter to you, providing a platform to speak your mind and find solutions. That's Betterments with Bass, with a focus on education and resolution. This is all about making things better for you. So if you want to make a difference and have your voice heard, tune into Freedom 106.5 FM and join us for Betterments with Bass, Monday through Thursday.
And of course, if you're happy to be here, somebody put your hands together and make some noise, yes? We're definitely happy to be here. It's been a long time coming, and the wait is over. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge a few of you in our midst. Of course, all of our sponsors, partners, specially invited guests, and all members of the media and other interest groups and personnel. Welcome and thank you for being present. A special welcome also to our viewing audience on CNC3 television and our radio stations at Guardian Media Limited, Slam 100.5 FM, Vibe City 105 FM, and Sangeet 106.1 FM. We are also on social media as well, Facebook and YouTube. So welcome. So before I introduce the panel, who's going to share a little bit more of what the competition is about, let me give you a brief overview. We are here today to discuss the Ultimate Soca Champion competition taking place this year. This platform will give both seasoned entertainers and emerging artists the opportunity to showcase their talent on a world stage and vie for a grand prize. So let me introduce our panel. To my right, and for those of you that are viewing, to your left. First and foremost, Jerome Persier, also known as Rome, an accomplished entertainer, TV producer, and former president of the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association. Jerome has built strong international television and entertainment relationships. Put your hands together for... It's Rome. Next on our panel, we have Rodney Simongo, CEO of Star Global Production Studios, a leader in TV production with over 30 years of experience. Star Global has delivered hundreds of high-quality productions, including live events, commercials, business features, and television series. Can we hear it for Mr. Simongo, ladies and gentlemen, yes? Thank you. Next up on our panel, Mr. Sheldon Stephen, of Lullaby Group of Companies, a premier entertainment company with over 15 years of experience designing and executing large-scale events across Trinidad and Tobago. Put your hands together for Mr. Stephen. And finally, Mr. Adrian Chandler of Strictly FX and Air Committee. He's a specialist in special effects and technical production. Adrian has managed large-scale events like Out in South, Stink and Dirty, Picnic, drawing crowds of over 10,000 attendees. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for all of our members of the panel. All right. At this time, I would like to direct your attention to the screen because we have a video to play.
10 of the top soca artists from around the world battle each other for soca supremacy. One stage, one night only. Winner takes all. Who will be crowned the ultimate Soca champion?
All right. That's a big question. Who? So without further ado, I would like to invite the man himself. Let's put our hands together and welcome Jerome Persier. It's Rome.
1, 2. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Ken. Good morning to the media, to the artists, to the managers, to our entire Caribbean soca industry locked on, listening, viewing, and to those of you in the diaspora internationally as well. Good morning. First of all, apologies for my voice. It is not the best, still recovering from the cold, but I am here. We are actually honored to be given this opportunity to partner with the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts to execute this competition. I believe that it is something that is needed for our culture and for the soca industry. Competition brings out the best in artists. I've been part of previous soca and chutney soca competitions, and I can tell you, artists give their all when it comes to competitions. From the props, to the dancers, to the numerous rehearsals that you have to put on, to just being focused and prepared. It is something totally different from the average fete performer. Not to say that artists don't give 100% when they're performing at a fete. However, when it comes to a soca competition, they go all out. They prep like no other for the entire season when it comes to this. I've seen it myself, and I've been a part of it, to the point where my management still can't understand what I'm doing. You would put out everything for this thing. Sometimes you're spending more money to put on your performance than you could win, just to make sure that you stamp your name out there. And the reason why artists do this is because they know that the value that it brings, they know that the marketability that this affords you, not only locally, regionally, but internationally. I would also say that as much as people would focus on the live physical event, this year we are going a bit different. We are focusing on the television aspect of the event. So a key element of this show is going to be that TV side of things, because we believe that this is going to help our culture to reach those international platforms. Because as much as you would have a couple thousand people at a physical venue for the event, which we will have, we know that it's way more viewers that look at this thing on television or on streaming platforms than who could actually attend the event. So you have a couple people physically there. However, you can have millions of people looking at this. And we have seen that in the past where previous soca competitions have attracted eyes from around the world, and which we're going to do here. As a TV viewing audience, it is difficult to consume a show that is over 8 hours long, with breaks in between. So this year's show is going to be difficult to do. However, we know that we have the right team to pull it off, because we are focusing on packaging this thing for TV purposes. So there are going to be some tweaks, and we have the guidance of some of our international team members. So my recent stint in Los Angeles, as some of you may know, I was afforded the opportunity to go on set at America's Got Talent. Part of that was market research, technical research, or seeing how they do things out there. I was fortunate enough to meet with Simon Cowell as well and pick his brain a bit too. So we have since made connections in Los Angeles with one of our consulting producers. Actually, we have 2 consulting producers on the show. One of whom has worked on shows such as the Grammys, who has done The Voice, who has done American Idol, who has done Dancing with the Stars, BET Awards, etc. So with our 2 consulting producers, they are going to be guiding us through this entire process to help us to package this thing properly for television consumption. We think it's going to be a memorable, spectacular show, both physically and on TV. The production will be broadcasted live on CNC3. It is also going to be broadcasted on cable TV throughout the region, and we have some local stations throughout the islands who we are in negotiations with the broadcast as well. It is going to be broadcasted live on Pavilion Plus internationally, so that our international audience can view this thing. So now I'm going to hand over to my partner, Rodney Simongal, the CEO of Star Global Production Studios, who is going to give a bit of insight into the television aspect of the show.
Good morning, all. All protocols observed. We recently concluded a very successful TV series called Carnival Catwalk, which many of you here attended the launch, and some of you would have seen last night on our media partner CNC3 broadcast. We intend a similar type production for Ultimate Soca Champion. if not surpassing what we did at Carnival Catwalk. And for the artists, some of the benefits you're going to derive from this, because sometimes the artists say, okay, we want to win prize money, but there are other more tangible benefits that you can derive from this. Global exposure, and increased reach, cultural diversity and impact, because you will be able to do partnerships with artists around the globe. When they see your performance, your brand development and your public persona will be elevated. You'd have marketing and networking opportunities. You'd have industry connection and peer learning, because when you come in that one room, that one space, you learn from each other. Even though you're competing, I've seen in competitions in the past where people compete, even with Carnival Catwalk. Last night we had a viewing party, and all the contestants were there, the local ones and even some of the foreign ones were there, all lining together, all at the same table, eating and drinking, even though they fiercely competed for $100,000. But that peer connection and that relationships that you're going to build during that competition is going to be lifelong, and will change your career. You're going to get a lot of feedback from the judges, and you're going to be growing with that. You're going to get cross promotion, a lot of music launches, career going to take place, because we have a youth element in the competition, which we will speak about later on. Hopefully from those partnerships that you develop, you're going to see collaborations coming forth. Like even from the youth people to the winner, there may be collaborations, because you meet people that you're going to connect with and build strong relationships with. You're going to leave a lasting legacy, because your name would be etched as the winner forever. And streaming and sales boost, once this competition is streamed across the globe, the country will receive revenue in US dollars from it. And overall, our entertainment industry should grow and achieve stronger and better global audiences, where traditionally on TV what you would see is like almost a 90% or more international culture being imposed on us. Now we have the opportunity here to take our culture and export it in a very appealing and entertaining fashion, because reality television series in the past has been very successful globally, as well as music competition across the globe is something that is standard. Like when you look at The Voice, they've been running for 20 years and they've always been successful, and the winners of those competitions, they generally move on to very successful careers after. And an international-based music-focused reality series benefits not only the artists, but also the fans and the corporate community, as well as the country, and the entertainment industry as a whole, by promoting music diversity and cultural connections globally. So this is a call to corporate Trinidad and Tobago to partner with us on the ultimate Soca Champion. Thank you.
All right. So, thank you very much, Rodney. And as you mentioned, Carnival Catwalk, Rodney was the part of he was the production house behind Carnival Catwalk as we did it, and our same team from Carnival Catwalk will be producing this show. So shameless plug, you could view Carnival Catwalk on CNC3 on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. All right, so now we're going to hand over to Sheldon of the Lullaby Group, who will give us an idea in terms of what you could expect visually at the event.
Morning, everybody. Hello. Morning, everybody. So basically my role in this would be more of a design perspective, color schemes, stage production, stage design. Our plan is to incorporate local culture, incorporate soca into this design that would appeal to the international market. You know, a competition, we want to provide that platform that could translate internationally and attract people to, you know, look at what we provide in Trinidad. So I think that's basically my role, keeping it short. Yeah.
Short and sweet. He didn't mention that he has Experience and Mega coming up.
Oh yeah, Experience next week, Mega 7th of February. Just a plug.
All right, and then now the man who has a wealth of experience in producing some of the largest music festivals, not just fets, in Trinidad and Tobago, known for things as you mentioned out in South, Stink and Dirty and Pink Nick, Adrian Chandler, who will be handling our event logistics.
Hi, pleasant good morning to everyone, media houses, invited guests. So our role and function here is really to bring
or take care of operations and logistics. As anyone who's involved in events would know, putting on something like this, a production such as this, you know, it's no easy task, managing 5,000, 10,000 people and then their expectations. All right, so we will be responsible more so for the operations, ground logistics, dealing with suppliers, sponsors, layout of the venue, that sort of thing. All right, just ensure that timelines are met and everybody is happy. And just like Sheldon, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I mean, I know the production side of things. Jerome has been involved in this, and Rodney likewise for many years. So the intention and what we plan to bring forth, you know, we really do want to wow, I mean, the audience, media houses, and then patrons alike.
All right, thank you very much, Adrian. Picnic is already sold out, sorry you guys. All right, now let's get into some of the details of the event itself, and I guess this is why most of you are here, to hear what is happening, what is new, what is different, what is fresh, and let's get into it a bit. So some of the key elements of the show would be including the reality TV show aspect of it. So as you would see with some of the international music competitions, you would have a reality TV show aspect, and I'll go into the details a bit, right? So one is the reality TV show aspect. Two would be the introduction of a youth Soca champion, and I will give you a breakdown of all of these categories. Third would be the ultimate Soca champion will be crowned, and fourth would be a new element of video submission. So let me touch a bit on the reality TV show aspect. So in this reality TV show aspect, we will be giving contestants backstories because we want the audience to fall in love with these people. Sometimes you see an artist performing on a stage and you don't know who they are, you don't know where they're from. A man just run out and sing, throw your rag on your flag, and it is difficult to build your fan base like that. So now we want to help the artists build their fan base by letting the crowd know who they are as a person, where they're from, and you will see all the different elements of that. We're going to have audition videos included. We're going to have a day in the life of the artists as they get prepared for the competition, what it's like, get people involved. How do you prepare? How do you rehearse? The band rehearsals, the dancers, all of these things will give a nice creative entertainment element to the show itself. Then we're going to have available to all of the artists vocal coaching and performance coaching, because if we want this to go out there to an international audience, we have to make sure that we provide support for our artists. We don't want this competition to be one where you have to go out on your own and come up with your own concepts and all of that, and then you run outside there and people say, what is this, boy? Because we want to make sure we put in our best foot forward, not only as the artists, but as a competition itself, as a brand, as a product of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean to these international eyes. Right, so now we have another element called the Youth Soca Champion. So we felt as though there has been a gap, a void that has been left. There is the schools soca competition, and in the past there was the soca competition for the big dogs. But there was a middle ground that was missing. In the past there was a competition like that, and then now there is no more. And a lot of artists in the past have broken through in similar competitions. I'm bold enough to call some of the names like Voice and Pretty and Irfan, and some of these guys came from previous competitions, youth versions of the competition. So we feel as though that is still needed, and if we put these artists to go up against the quote-unquote bigger artists or big dogs in the business, is not really fair to them. So we're giving them their own space, their own platform. It's called the Youth Soca Champion. The age group for this category is 16 years old to 25 years old. Right? The first place for this will be $200,000. They will be given vocal coaching and performance coaching as part of the program. They will be showcased as well. We're going to have discussions. I'm seeing here we have a representative, couple representatives from the Trinidad and Tobago Promoters Association. So we'll be liaising with the TTPA to allow these artists to get exposure in some of the bigger fests where they could get their name out there. There will be 5 finalists in this category. Then we move on to the big dogs, the ultimate soca champion. Who will be crowned the ultimate soca champion? And why the ultimate soca champion is because we will be inviting soca champions from across the region to enter into this competition. So the soca champions from the various islands will come and be a part of this. They will be specially invited to come compete against our top soca champions that we have here locally. We are also inviting the international soca artists because our Trinidad and Tobago Carnival product has been exported globally. There's Carnival in Miami, there's Carnival in Rotterdam, there's Carnival in Notting Hill, there's Carnival in Toronto, even now in Dubai. So we have soca champions all over the world, not only in the region. So they will all be invited to come participate in this competition to see who will be crowned the ultimate soca champion. The prize money, I know that's what they're waiting to hear. The prize for the ultimate soca champion will be $1 million. Do we get a clap for that now? And this will be funded by Lullaby. No. So we will make sure that we have our grand prize available to our artists. And one thing that artists always ask for is to be paid on time. So we will guarantee that artists, again a clap from Mel Beats. Artists will be paid on time. All right, so what would happen is that each artist must select the area that they represent, because with this project we want to have community building as well. So if an artist is from Trinidad and Tobago, you can't say I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, yes. Where you from? I represent Arima, I represent Sealots, I represent Sawa. So we want to get that community feel to back the artists, to bring out their support. We're also going to have different colors for the artists, so that your supporters, when you come to the event, you have a certain color, a certain flag crew that is supporting your artists, so you get that effect in the live event. There will be 10 finalists this year. There will be no power and no groovy category. It is one soca champion. So power going up against groovy, groovy going up against power. However, there will be special prizes for the best power, the best groovy, the people's champion. There's going to be a voting element to this competition as well. So we're liaising with some of the telecommunication suppliers and an international voting element as well. So make sure that it is see-through, transparent, no bubble, no voter padding. Everybody is on a fair playing field. And another element that we want to add for the winner is that we are guaranteeing the winner that they will perform at an international music festival. Because I feel as much as we give a winner $1 million, you might be the ultimate soca champion here in the Caribbean region, but then where do we go from here? There's been talk for years of how do we take soca international, how we will get soca as its own genre on streaming platforms and at the Grammys. But I myself as an artist, when I started traveling as a performer and seeing some of these stages that these artists perform at, we all do, before I started traveling, I thought that the audience that they performed at in these international stages were international audiences. When I started traveling myself, I realized that a lot of the performances that soca artists perform at internationally are really to the Caribbean diaspora and not really to the international audiences. There are some elements where they are exposed, but it's far less than more. A lot of the time you go out to these places, I've seen Yankee Boy in the crowd, he knows, he could tell you. Yeah, is that you go to these places, I would go to New York City and we would perform, and a lot of these people there are Trinis who migrated, or Caribbean people who migrated, or that their parents Trini, or they have some kind of Caribbean connection. But the international audience still hasn't really seen soca like that. I know that a couple of our artists are pushing the limit and the boundaries and they're trying to do it, but they can't do it alone. We need a collective unit to help to do this. So what we want to do is to put soca on an international stage by putting these artists in front of international audiences at music festivals. I can get a round of applause for that. And we have done it in the past. Those of you who are watching the Carnival Catwalk series, you would see that that's the exact same thing we did for the fashion designers. The winner of Carnival Catwalk landed on Milan Fashion Week. We took them there, we filmed the entire thing, and they landed on Vogue Italia and Harper's Bazaar, two big international fashion magazines. And that's the kind of traction that we want for the ultimate soca champion, that you would get that international exposure. So another element of the competition will be video submissions. Again, at the end of the day, this is a TV show that goes along with the competition. So note, video submissions are for artists who do not reside in Trinidad and Tobago and for artists who have performed in front of crowds of over 1,000 people. So that's the minimum. So in terms of your video performances, you must submit 3 performances. Everyone else, if you don't qualify for the video submissions, you must attend the walk-in auditions, which take place next week Saturday, the 25th at SAPA. It's from 9 a.m. So remember the qualifications again for video submissions. You have to be either you're not from Trinidad and Tobago or you're an artist that has performed in front of crowds of 1,000 persons and over. If you don't fall into those 2 categories, find yourself in the walk-in auditions. Video submissions. 3 videos must be submitted. A minimum 2-minute video of your song that you're entering into the competition. It must not be a song that has been publicly released before March the 1st, 2024. Your second video, a video of you performing in front of your large crowd. You could use a YouTube link, a Vimeo link, or one of those to show us that you are performing in front of large audiences. Your third video submission would be your artist slate. Hi, I am Rome. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I am X amount of years old, and I want to be the next Ultimate Soca Champion because of XYZ, right? And the name of your song. Requirements, you have 1 week to submit these things. All of the artists who qualify in this category should have videos of themselves performing now. So we know a week is enough time to give you. If you don't have it, all of these artists should have access to a cell phone or to a videographer to film yourself performing this song. Your video submission of your track itself does not have to be in front of a live audience. It could be you rehearsing the song at home with a band, whatever. It must be you singing the song as well. No lead vocals must be on your tracks. Walk-in auditions. It will take place next week Saturday, as I said, the 25th at SAPA from 9 a.m. You must sing to a track with no lead vocals. Background vocals are allowed, no lead vocals on the track. Or if you don't have a track, you could play an instrument and sing. You could clap and sing. Up to you. You could walk with a friend who could play an instrument while you sing as well. You will be allowed maximum 2 dancers. No props are allowed in the audition phase. You must walk with your track on a USB flash drive at the walk-in auditions as well. If you're entering the Youth Soca Champion competition and you are under the age of 18, because it's from 16 to 25, you must be accompanied by a parent or guardian to sign your contract. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'll hand back over to the Master of Ceremonies. Those are the details of the Ultimate Soca Champion.
All right, thank you very much, Rome. How does that sound, ladies and gentlemen? Sounds good? Yeah, let's put our hands together for all the details, yes? I'm just contemplating, they have a song put on. I feel I might have to run in the studio. Indeed, and I'm not joking. All right, so I know most of you would have questions, obviously. Probably there's some things that still needs clarification in your mind. And we want you to be at peace when you leave the press conference. So we're going to allot this time for you to ask your questions. So all you need to do is just show your hands. You head to the microphone at the center in the aisle there. State your name, the media house that you represent, or who artist that you represent, and you can ask your questions, all right? I must warn you, though, I know people are just rushing to the microphone. Please, let's have some decency and order, please. Come on, we're live on CNC3, after all right? So any questions? Anybody has any questions? Any questions, all right? So head to the microphone. All right, so just make sure that it's on. Push it up.
1,
nice.
2.
Ooh, we're good
yeah.
to go there.
All right, just 2 questions.
All right.
One, does the competition have an admission fee to partake in the competition? Is it free or you gotta work with
a registration fee?
Registration fee, sorry.
Okay, no.
That's one.
No registration fee.
There's no registration fee.
And two.
We can keep his mic on? All right, thank you. Yeah, no registration fee.
No registration fee. And number two, let's say there's over 600 artists coming down Sapa. And I just calculating, you all might be listening to everybody. Let me just say, would it just be that day only, or we'll have another day? Or?
So we have spoken to SAPA, and we have booked both the Saturday and the Sunday to cater for that. So if we have an overspill on the Saturday, then we will cater for the Sunday. But if we could do everyone on the Saturday, we will. So don't show up Sunday, because if we knock out everyone Saturday, you will be singing by yourself.
All right. And this is Chenko Production. My name is Vichenko Noel, songwriter, artist, producer, everything. All right. Bye.
Take the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes. A name, media house, and.
Hi, good morning. Melissa Doughty, Newsday. Will the artists be coached by well-known artists, so to speak? Is the format going to follow international models that we would have seen?
Yes, it will follow the international models. In terms of the vocal coaches, we have qualified vocal coaches who will be guiding them, and performance coaches as well.
Can you name some?
No, we can't name any of these people. You need to tune in to see.
Okay. And in terms of, you spoke to competitions and the need for competitions in the environment, but George Singh, South Texas, George Singh, spoke to Forex and Garing Forex, etc. Do you see yourself partnering with more international bodies to ensure that the competition is successful and, of course, generates the income that is needed or is expected?
Yeah, well, definitely. That's why we're partnering with the international producers to help to guide this, to make this an international product. And as well with the Pavilion Plus streaming platform, is that we're targeting the international audiences. I can tell you, on the heels of Carnival Catwalk, we have had meetings with the Netflix, with the Amazons, with the Hulus. We've had all of those meetings already. And we are in discussions with those networks. However, you had a dancer yard before you dance abroad. Wow. As the Jamaicans would say. So we need to put on a show here that shows the international audience that we deserve to have a space out there on their platforms. But we're not looking for their approval. We are kicking open the door and creating our own space. And that's what Pavilion Plus does. So as much as we're waiting, a lot of television productions have to wait to be greenlit by a big international streaming platform. With Pavilion Plus, we greenlight our own projects. So we are going to be streaming internationally, regardless of if we get buy-in from those markets or not.
Hi, good day, everybody. My name is Sheldon Lane.
Put the mic a little closer to him.
Closer, yes.
Hi, good day. My name is Sheldon Lane. I represent Sheldon Management Group. I'm also working with an artist called Miss Diva. So I'm going to ask a question because I like what you all are doing. I must say, I believe in giving praises when praises is due. And I think that as anything we do, we have to sell ourselves. Normally, I do reviews for tuning with sell who we are. Jamaican does it well. They sell who they are. And if we don't understand the brand of who we are as a country, we are failing as a society. We have to understand the brand. Our brand, we are good at selling the tuning with. Like Sparrow did well. Sparrow did it well. So we have to sell who we are. I have one advice I want to give. I believe that to grow, to become any president worldwide, we have to be good at communication. Communication is very, very, very key. So I think that if you all you're grooming the artists, you are nurturing the artists, we all should teach them how to communicate effectively, especially with an audience, with a mic. So what is that? Because I've seen many artists, yes, they could perform, but they cannot really communicate effectively. Communication is very important in selling a brand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for communicating that very well. Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning. I think it is still Alicia Boucher from TV6 News. I just have a few questions. I realize that the plan for the show is following international shows like, let's say, The Voice and so on. But these shows take place over a long period of time. in terms of different stages as to where you narrow down the competition. There will be 10 finalists on the night. Can we have an idea as to how these 10 finalists will be chosen after the walk-in audition phase and so on is concluded?
All right, so what we're going to do is that first we have the video submission phase. As I mentioned, the criteria for video submissions. Then we have the walk-in submissions. And then what we're going to do is take a pool of the video submissions and the walk-in auditions. Then we're going to determine our semi-finalists. Our semi-finalists will perform on February the 9th, and they will put on their show live to a live audience. From the semi-finals, then we go into our finals. Our finals will take place on February the 20th, which is the Thursday before Carnival Week. And then after that, we're going to have our results show.
Sure, thank you so much. How many semi-finalists are you planning to select?
We wouldn't tell you that yet because we need to see what takes place with the video submissions and the auditions, and then we're going to narrow down to see based on those numbers and how much we could accommodate, because we want to have as many semi-finalists as we could showcase within a period of time to give everybody that opportunity, because we know we have a lot of islanders who are interested in coming as well.
And you mentioned the reality aspect of the competition. So is it that, can you kind of elaborate as to how you will be doing those interviews, whether that part of the packaging will be for the final night of the competition or just for the television aspect of the competition?
So similar to international television shows that you would see, this is a weekly series that would be aired on CNC3. So every week you could look out for backstories of different contestants and their different phases as they go through. So it's not something that is just going to be packaged for the final night alone. It's going to be throughout. So you get to follow them through their journey. So by the time you reach the finals, these artists have already built a fan base of people who know who they are and who are following them and are coming out to support them.
So would voting start for the competition at the semi-final point? Would it start before, or would it just be on the for the finals of the competition?
So we're hoping that the voting could start from as early as a semi-final round. So again, that depends on our negotiations with the telecommunications companies here locally and with the international platform we're using for the voting aspect. And if we could have that in place for the semi-finals, we will. But we know for sure it's guaranteed for the final.
And for the youth competition, I don't want to take up the mic, but I just want to get all the questions out. So for the youth competition, would there also be a semi-finals for that competition as well, and then for the 5 finalists?
So let me add some clarity for the youth competition. This is one competition, the Ultimate Soca Champion. Within that competition, we have the youth element, because we don't want to separate the youths from the ultimates in terms of having separate stages. They're going to perform on the same stage. We will start the competition with the youth to give them that exposure, and then followed by the ultimate. So it's be on the same nights. So the semi-finals for the youth is the same night as the semi-finals for the ultimate. Same thing on the finals, same final night.
And final question from me. I know you mentioned that there would be prizes for Power and Groovy. You want to tell us what those prizes are, or you don't know yet?
No, we're still in negotiation phases with the sponsors. So those special prizes would be combinations of sponsors' prizes as well as cash prizes. So we don't want to reveal to give out anything as yet until those deals are sealed.
Any prizes for, let's say, second or third?
Yeah, we do have prizes for second and third, and it's a tiered prize structure. So we have 1 million as first place, and then it's going to be tiered second, third, and then all the way to 10th. They'll be given, every artist will be paid a performance fee, as well as they will be given a contribution to put on their stage show.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Ms. Boucher.
Hi, Soini Gray from Guardian Media. What's the budget for this show?
The overall budget? Overall budget for this, when we estimated, was over, I think the last budget we had was around $8 million.
Okay, and how much of that is coming from the Ministry of Culture?
We don't have the final figure from the ministry, but it's somewhere in the vicinity of around $4 million.
So I know we're not using the old name. This is a totally new product. But there were some challenges that affected the success of that former product. How are you all addressing that in terms of audience interest and getting, I guess, maybe the television aspect? You spoke about the television aspect before, but Soca Monarch was such a major cultural force, but yet it wasn't successful as a business. Talk to me about how you're addressing that.
In terms of the success of the previous Soca competition, I don't know their financials, so I can't speak on that.
No, I don't want you to speak to their financials, but what lessons you would have learned.
The success of the competition, it has been missing for a couple of years now. And we just feel as though we need to bring our competition back into this space because it's needed. Some of the challenges, and we learned, because I participated in that last competition, and I would applaud them because I loved participating in that competition. I used to live for that. As I said, my management can't understand why, but I loved performing in that competition. So first of all, I want to say kudos to the past owners of that competition. We know that the numbers have dwindled in the past because the last competition I performed on that stage, the numbers were way less than the time before that. So some of the things that we're going to aim at, one is, as I mentioned, with the TV show aspect.
You're watching CNC3.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I am Kejan Haynes. 2 Caribbean Airlines flights were forced to return to Trinidad after a SpaceX spaceship exploded during a test flight over the Northern Caribbean on Thursday evening. Flights BW526 and BW550 were disrupted when the uncrewed test vehicle broke apart 8 minutes and 30 seconds after launching from Texas. SpaceX described the event as a rapid, unscheduled disassembly caused by a fire in the aft section. Now, social media videos showed debris streaking across the skies above Turks and Caicos. Several other planes in the region were diverted or in place in holding patterns, while flights out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale faced delays. Caribbean Airlines confirmed the disruptions were due to airspace closures, but said all other operations were unaffected. The diverted flights later departed Piarco International, heading to New York's JFK International. The UNC candidate for Toco Sangre Grande is accusing Gary Griffith of attempting to gain the favor of Stuart Young so he can get another term as police commissioner. Attorney at law Wayne Sturge took aim at the NTA leader last evening during a UNC pavement report and accused Griffith of being biased with his administering of justice while he was at the helm of the TTPS. Sturge said during the COVID-19 pandemic, Griffith led the TTPS showing leniency for people who belong to a certain socio-economic class. Recently, Griffith wished incoming Prime Minister Stuart Young well and praised him for how he ran the National Security Ministry during the pandemic. Griffith also called for the public to stop demonizing Young's former stepdaughter, who was charged with possession of drugs and guns back in 2018. And Griffith said he too was a relative of the girl. Last evening, Sturge said from those statements it's clear that Griffith is once again auditioning to be top cop.
Gary has lined up once again because Rowley gone or going, if that is real. Hoping to get a Kobo sweat again with Stuart. Hoping again that he could be judge, jury, and executioner when the government is setting up the youth to fail.
But Griffith hit back and said Sturge's comments shows exactly why the UNC has been in opposition for so long. The NTA leader said the Toco Sangre Grande candidate should have spent his time highlighting his plans and policies for the constituency. Griffith said unlike Wayne Sturge, he is not desperate for a job.
I was fired as a minister